Ted, we did have an email come in already
Yes.
from Doug. If we can jump into that in just a second. I was in an accident a month ago. As I was going through an intersection, the driver turned at the last second. Two of my friends were with me. The front passenger got hurt, broken ribs, collapsed lung. The rear passenger suffered a head, back, and neck. Suffered a hurt back and neck, sorry. I hurt my back and neck. Now I'm dealing with the other guy's insurance. Do I have a strong enough case to take a lawyer, or should I just handle it on my own? I think I just teed that one up for you, Ted.
This is one that you're most certainly going to need some help on. You know, anytime you're injured in an accident, you know, you want to make sure that you are getting properly and fairly compensated for whatever it is that you're having to deal with. In a situation like this, that what this individual is dealing with, it's a problem because there are competing claims on what could be a limited fund. Typically, insurance policies come in one of two fashion. One is they can be a combined single limits, which means property damage, bodily injury, everything. However many claimants are, there's one limit. That's what you typically see in a commercial policy context. And usually that's okay because usually you're dealing with larger limits in those scenarios. But a more typical auto policy that you and I carry on our personal insurance policies, and which most individuals have, are typically what's called, you normally see them in increments of one or two possible claimants or three possible claimants. You see, 2550, 5100 limits, or 100-300, those type of limits. And what that means, for example, if it's a 2550 using shorthand, 25,000 is the most that any one individual can recover in the accident, and 50,000 is the most that will be paid out by that policy, no matter how many claimants there are. So here we're talking about 3 claimants. So the most that one person can get is 25. But if 2 people got 25, then there'll be nothing left for the third. So they have to figure out how to divvy those up. You can also have a situation, another common denomination of coverage that you'll see is a 100-300, which would be a favorable situation if that was what you had here, because that would mean each individual would have up to $100,000 for a total of $300,000 in the accident. So when you have completing claims like that, and there could be other individuals in the other car that could be in addition to that.
And then you also have a competing claim of any type of fault that's shared on both
percentage
parties.
of fault. Well, you say intersection accidents can very well be disputed on liability.
Right.
We have in our state now, after tort reform, a form of modified comparative fault, where you still can recover your injuries up to the percentage that is the other party's deemed liable, so long as they're over 50% at fault. So what that means is if let's say, for example, in this scenario that you had the right of way based off your email, but let's say that a jury were to somehow determine that you had some fault or should have bore some responsibility for not avoiding the accident in some way, and they say that you're 20% at fault and the other party's 80% at fault. Well, that would mean that you only recovered 80% of your damages. So to use easy math, if you had $100 in damages, you would only get to recover $80. So it's important that that is framed properly, because the insurance companies are always going to try to nickel and dime you, try to say that you bear some responsibility. In a situation like this, they should not have a very strong argument in that, because you had the right of way.
But it also sounds like you got a lot of witnesses also.
Right.
And hopefully that'll bolster your claim.
And you need to make sure that what we really like to have in intersection accidents, and which is quite frequently available if you retain an attorney quickly, and if they are able to have the resources like we do, then they can get out there and investigate and see if there's any video footage of the accident, which can be a game breaker in any of these scenarios.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Thank you. Because, I mean, I was thinking that we have taken several cases to where we were really, really, really concerned about how the accident actually happened, and our investigative team got out there, got the evidence, got the video evidence, and we were able to put these pieces together. And lo and behold, our clients were able to make a decent recovery.
Speed is king.
But speed is king, right? So, Doug, to answer your question, do you need an attorney? Absolutely. Do you need one right now? You need one yesterday, buddy. So, absolutely. And give our office a call, and we'll be glad to help you.